Hey, Matt, Joe, any level of concern on KK?
Yeah, I mean, anytime someone doesn't practice, I'm concerned. We'll wait and see how the week plays out, and see if we're able to have him. But he finished the game on Sunday, and I know he's working hard to come back. So if anyone can come back, I'm sure KK can. And so I'll just wait and see how it plays out.
Matt, I don't know if this is Elena. I don't know how much you're willing to say, but where are you kind of with your expectation for Dennis for this week?
I don't have much hope that Dennis will play.
Hey, Matt, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News 1. I guess I got a game question for you as far as preparing for Tampa Bay. Their run game, they've got two solid backs back there, and there were some obvious struggles with Josh Jacobs this past week. What improvements would you like to see, up front when it comes to having a better grip on the run game this week against Tampa Bay?
I thought we did a much better job in the second half versus the run game. I know they had 87 yards in the first half, but I think we held Jacobs to like 3.7 yards. So I thought the guys held him to 133 total. I thought the guys did a nice job in the second half of rallying, of adjusting. It's just one of those things you get in the first game and you're tackling. You're trying to see, hey, where's our tackling at? Getting off blocks. So this game presents a whole different set of problems, different run schemes. So we're gonna have to just play well. I think for all of us, we weren't happy with the screen game coming out of last week. This is another team that's excellent in the screen game, taking away the run game, both the power run game and the outside zone game. So I was pleased with the adjustments our guys made at halftime. I was pleased with, because really, we were on our way to a 180-yard game, giving up. So for them to turn it in the second half, I was pleased. We just have to carry that over. We did into today's practice, hopefully, and carry that over into next week.
Matt, Jonathan Alexander, Charlotte Observer. Hope you're doing well. This is the first time y'all going on the road. Of course, it's different. Is this something where you have to, I guess, remind your players or maybe limit going out on the road this time?
The NFL has said that you can't leave the hotel. I think you can go for a walk, and I think you can get a cup of coffee, but you can't go out to eat like guys are accustomed to in years past. Can't have visitors. So some of the things that guys are used to, the NFL's already stepped in it, and that's not just players; that's players and coaches. The entire travel party is really in the hotel. So there are some changes that the NFL has made, and I think for us, it's just a matter of taking that time now. We can't go out. Let's stay in. Let's hang out with each other. Let's spend some time with each other, and hopefully make it a great trip.
Given how little, Josh Graham, given how little time Rasul Douglas had to pick things up, did he exceed your expectations on Sunday? And what can we expect to see from him against Tampa?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Rasul is how much he loved being out there. Like, he wanted to compete. He didn't, he was over there telling the coaches, don't baby me, put me in man to man. I don't care. I mean, he's a guy who's played a lot of football. He's a competitor. So sometimes you're around guys that, they compete when they know that, hey, it's going to work out. I love the guys like Rasul who they want to go compete, no matter what the circumstances are. And he's a tough guy, gritty, physical. And so a lot of credit has to be given to him, to Evan Cooper, to Jason Simmons, to get him ready. And, again, he showed up on Wednesday and played the whole game on Sunday. So a lot of credit, I think, has to be given to him for picking up the system so quickly. But I was pleased. I really was. I thought he's something that what he did was something that we can really build off of.
Hey, Coach, Josh with the Josh Wright report. Curious what you saw on tape from Michael Schofield. If you don't feel comfortable with Dennis going again this week, do you plan to put Mike back out there at guard?
Oh yeah, Mike will be out there. I thought for us to give up one sack, for us to give up, for us to have 128 yards rushing, and not a lot of plays. I think that's the one thing that we had 28 plays in the first half. So to me, I'm excited to get those guys back out there and have another week with that offensive unit, working together and gelling, and excited to get out there this week.
Hey, Matt, Jason Huber with WFNZ. Last week, Tampa, they fell to New Orleans, but how much do you look at that versus knowing that they're a new team that's really all come together, especially on offense this year, knowing that, that their full potential probably wasn't on display last week, and how different does that make it when evaluating them?
It's the same thing as evaluating us. I think every team, this year in the NFL that has new players, you saw week one. I think you make your biggest jump from week one to week two. They did a lot of good things. There's a lot of things that, that you have to be concerned about. Offensively, Coach Arians always has a great offense. They have a physical running game. They got down and came right back and pulled within 10 points. So, there's a lot of things to be concerned with. And then defensively, Coach Bowles always has a great defense. And, they're going to get up and challenge you, pressure the quarterback, play man coverage. So it's a challenge all around. And, for us, the best thing that we can do is just try to make sure that we're the best version of ourselves on Sunday. At least when I watch the tape, there's a lot of things that we did well this past Sunday, but still, that energy, that passion, that excitement, we still have to find that. And, we found it at times, but I'm talking about for 60 minutes. And so, but yeah, I think, if you evaluate us, you're talking about a completely new team, first time going out there. And there's a lot of things I was proud of, we had 5 penalties, but we didn't have 10, we didn't have any turnovers. So there's a lot of clean things that we have to build on. But we'll really find out, about our team this Sunday in terms of, how much growth we've had. And, I'm sure that we'll see a tremendous Tampa Bay team as well.
Matt, Steve Reed from the Associated Press. You talk about the challenge of facing Tom Brady and a pretty good group of receivers with a fairly young secondary that you got there, at least a corner, and also having Dante Jackson back. Dante Jackson back probably helps, I guess, a little bit there.
Yeah, we're hopeful that Dante can play. But I was pleased with Troy Pride last week. He's right there on the touchdown. What Troy Pride showed me last week is that he can do it, that he can run with guys down the field. He can compete. We saw that from Rhule. Again, it's the National Football League. Each and every week, we're going to face really good receivers. We're going to face really, great quarterbacks, great offenses, big physical offensive lines, great backs. And this week is no exception. And so I think the thing for us is just making sure that, we want to be a better team this coming week than we were last week. And if we do that week in and week out, then, we'll look back and say, look how far we've come. And so that's the approach we're trying to take. It's a very much concern about us, process oriented approach. But I think it's one that builds consistent winners. And so, our secondary, we want them to play better this week than they did last week, but the same can be said for our D-line, our linebackers, our coaching staff, everybody. We all want to be better this week than we were last week.
Hey, Matt.
Miles Simmons. Anything in particular that you want to see out of Teddy Bridgewater this week?
I just want to see him go play. I know he's going to have, a lot to manage in terms of, Coach Bowles' defense and the pressure that they'll bring and the different blitz packages and deciphering the coverages and, the pressure's coming from all different places. So Teddy will have a lot of work to do at the line of scrimmage even before the ball is snapped. But, I enjoyed watching Teddy play. I just want to see him go out there and have fun and be himself. And so, I know when I leave tonight, he'll probably still be in the building. That's the type of guy he is. And he'll need it this week because this is a really difficult defense to get your hands around.
Matt, can you expand on when K1 may have hurt his foot in the game? And how concerned are you with the pass rush facing a guy like Brady?
You know what? I don't know exactly when it was, to be quite honest with you, David. I know at one point I just remember at one point they came over to me and said, "Hey, he's down with an ankle." He came off the field. They taped him up and he went back out and played. So I'm sorry, I don't remember when exactly that is. And I think like last week, I think they completed 23. I think it was 23 balls. 20 of them were less than 10 yards. So, that we understand that there's going to be a lot of balls thrown like that. What we have to do is we have to come up in crucial situations and get pressure. And so, I think the biggest thing that I took away from last week is we have guys who are more than capable, but we have to be a little bit more tenacious. We have to hit pass rush moves and and use our hands better. So a lot of things that we got into the game that we can correct. And so that's what we went out there and worked on today as a defense. Hey, these are the things we have to correct, and it'll just carry over into this week. And Tom Brady's is an iconic quarterback. I mean, I don't know how you play him any better than to try to get a rush with a 4-man rush. And so we have to get a 4-man rush. That's easier said than done, but we have good players, and we're going to ask them to work and try to play as well as they can possibly play this week.
Matt, we saw Chris Reed out there today. Is he out of the protocol? And then secondly, we see you without sunglasses. Are you pretty well 100% at this point?
Yeah, I can't comment on Chris. That's just not my place. And they found a way to not have the TV on, so the TV I'm looking into a camera. The TV monitor, the bright light doesn't hit me. So when I have the lights on, I have the sunglasses on. But I appreciate you asking. But I have a feeling this is going to be kind of a long little thing for me to deal with. But it is getting better.
Hey, Matt, Skylar Cowan with Sports Illustrated. Looking back at this week, what did you see out of Chris Manhertz and Ian Thomas? And then on the flip side, what do you guys hope to try and do against their tight ends this week? They got 2 pretty good ones.
Yeah, and really they have three good ones. I mean, we and we're really trying to kind of look ahead as we look ahead to our tight ends. I mean, to me, we did some really good things in the passing game that we'd like to build upon. I thought Manhurst did some really good things in the run game, blocking wise. Ian, we need him to take another step this week, and just we have a back in Christian who can plays the distance if everyone just holds their block just like a second longer. It takes just a little bit more accountability. Doesn't hold the block long enough, but just holds it a little bit longer. And I want to see that from our tight ends, but really from all of our positions. And their tight ends are great blockers, great route runners. They can play with 2 of them. They can play with 3 of them. They give you a lot of challenges. And so, it'll be much like last week. It'll be something that we'll have to match up with. We have guys like Shaq Thompson, Justin Burris, Jeremy Chin, who we've trained, to try to be able to play some man coverage versus tight ends. But, they have great ones. And so it'll be a real challenge.
Hey, Matt, Josh Graham again. Is there a built-in relationship with you and Coach Arians considering the Temple connection?
Yeah, Coach Arians was the head coach, obviously, at Temple before I was there, and the night that we beat Penn State, I remember we went back to my house, my family, and the whole staff came over. It was a huge party, and that was the one phone call I took that night was from Coach Arians. And I remember I took the job, he called me, but when we beat Penn State, he called me. And there's a lot of, Penn State guys, Temple guys on his staff, Todd Bowles, and I'm sure Nick Rapone's still there, and many more, Coach Armstrong. So Coach Arians is fiercely loyal. He's a wonderful man. And a couple of years ago when I was out in Arizona for something, I actually went out and visited him and hung out for a day of OTAs, watched them practice, had lunch with him. So he's always been really good to me. So look forward to seeing him.
Matt, Nick Carboni from WCNC Charlotte. What do you see? I mean, what are your thoughts about going up against Tom Brady as a head coach, and specifically, what did you see from him on film in that New Orleans game?
Well, I mean, everything you want to see about Tom Brady, you see at the end of that game. I mean, he brings them back. I mean, sometimes games don't go the way you want, right? And it's what do you do in those situations that determines what type of player you are, what type of coach you are. Anybody can be great when things are going well, but who are you when things aren't going well? And I forget what it was, like 17-7 or 24-7, and next thing you know, it's 34-24, something like that. So, tremendous arm strength down the field, elite feet in the pocket, gets them in the right play. Still a great player. And so, I look at everything just, football wise, it'll be such a challenge for us. You're not gonna be able to fool them. So you're gonna have to line up and just play really well. And that's our challenge. So we're trying to tell our guys, hey, it's all about us. Let's make sure that we go play as well as we can possibly play.
Matt, you said you kind of wanted to take the last 2 days to think of what you wanted to say to the team in advance of Sunday. Is there any message in particular that you kind of reinforced today to them?
Yeah, my message is, to me, it's not about just like winning or losing one game. That's the danger of this past Sunday is like, you can either be upset because we lost, or you could be kind of encouraged because, hey, it was close. And, hey, it's the first game. We didn't have any preseason, all that stuff. It's not about any one game. It's not about this game. It's about who we are as a franchise, who the Carolina Panthers are and how are we going to do things. And, we want to be the type of team that when we lose a game, everyone takes responsibility and gets better. And when we win a game, everyone wants to share the credit with each other. And most importantly, we want to be the type of team that that loves the competition and loves the competition of going out on a Wednesday and wants to go against each other and improve and get better. So we're just trying to build that mindset, not the, hey, we didn't win, but I played well. We don't want that. We want a team that's all in it together, but more importantly, that has a winner's mindset. That's always trying to get better and never satisfied. And so that's what I'm saying to the guys, like, hey, let's go out there. I can't wait to Sunday. Let's prepare and let's go down there. Let's travel together as a team. Let's go down there and let's go play as hard as we can. And let's go play and have as much fun as we can. And like, there were times like this past Sunday where it started to get fun and then it just kind of trailed off a little bit. And you know what? We just have to just keep picking up the energy, keep picking up the football each and every play. And so I'm just hoping that we can take another step in that direction.
Matt, in that respect, as a first year coach trying to establish your program and the foundation, is that how you measure success, or how do you?
Yeah, I don't. It's just so hard to say, like, how do I measure success? Like at the end of the day, like and I understand the question. Like, I just think so. I think like this. I'm like, well, we go out every week and we're trying to win, right? So like, you want to go 1-0 that week. If you walk through our building, you see 1-0 signs everywhere. So that's like the mission, right? The mission is to go 1-0. So either you accomplish it or you didn't. So we're trying to go 1-0 this week. And if we accomplish it, then we'll feel really good. We'll say like, hey, we accomplished the mission. And this past week we didn't accomplish it. And we're kind of upset about it. We're like, man, we didn't accomplish the mission, but there's got to be something even greater than that, which allows you to be great from week to week, year to year. And that's a sense of purpose. Like, we want to be the best team that we can be. And we want to be the best franchise that we can be. And that's why every little thing matters to me. Like, that's why, like, the way this room is set up matters to me. That's why, like, the way the practice fields look, everything has to matter. We have to say to ourselves that we want to be great at everything that we do. And so what happens, in my opinion, is when you get so caught up in like one win or one loss, you're always kind of going like this. But when like your purpose is so much greater, like, hey, we are going to be great at everything we do, the byproduct is that you naturally win games. And so I'm disappointed we lost, but from that loss, I take all the good things and try to build off those, and we're trying to eliminate the bad things. And then next week we're going to play, and I hope we win, and we're going to try to build off that. But if the Carolinas ever want a consistent winner that year in and year out challenges, to win championships, then we have to raise the stakes, and we have to say, like, it's not about just, hey, one play. It's about, are we elite at everything that we do? And we're not yet, so we're working to get there. But that's like my sense of purpose in all of this is I go out to the practice field, and whether we win or lose this week, like, is today's practice at the level, the standard that it needs to be? And it causes friction sometimes because people are like, why is coach being like this? Or why so-and-so being like this? But if you watch the great ones, like when I watch McCaffrey practice, I can't tell if, we won last week or lost last week. And when I watch him play in the game, I can't tell if we're ahead or behind. And that's what's special. And that's what we need that's what we need right now on defense. We need, like, to look out there on defense and see a defense that's flying around, that's physical, that's passionate, whether we're winning or losing, it doesn't matter. They have to play one way. The same can be said for the offense. And so that's what we're trying to build. I know that was long-winded. I'm sorry, but I believe that with all my heart, that if you have that sense of purpose, then you know what, when you have an injury, you just overcome it. When it's bad weather, you overcome it, because the standard you're holding yourself to as an organization is so much higher than just, hey, let's try to make a great call and win the game. It's just a little bit higher.
Matt, how did you?
All right, hold on. Hey, Miles, this will be the last question. Go ahead, Miles.
Thanks, Bruce. Matt, how did you evaluate your receiving core coming out of last week's game, and what would you like to see from them against Tampa Bay?
I'm just probably, as I move forward, I would just say that obviously they're fast and they're athletic, and they have the ability to make a lot of big plays. I think the biggest thing for them, kind of building off what I just said, is I just want them to play every play like it's the most important play of the game, like the ball's coming to them, and this is the play that's going to win the game. I think when you have that, sense of urgency, when you have that, focus and purpose on each play, you can do really, really special things. And so we don't want any throwaway plays. We want every play to be the most important play in the game. And I think as those receivers build off of that, and that's, obviously Robbie had the big touchdown, DJ and Curtis had some catches, Seth had a catch, but even Farrow, Zylstra, all six of those guys, if they have that mindset, then they'll be a really good receiving core.
Hey, Bruce, I accidentally cut off Vashti. Can she get her question if y'all don't mind?
Go ahead, Vashti.
I just, with the emphasis, thank you guys. Just with the emphasis on practice, I just wanted to know how practice was today.
Thank you. That's a great question. I thought practice was really good today. Now, how you feel at practice can sometimes lie to you. I haven't had a chance to watch the tape. I just literally walked off the field, but I thought practice was good. I thought we flew around, and the biggest thing at practice is I want guys to go out with a specific plan for what they need to improve upon. So I'll have to see the tape, but I certainly liked the demeanor and the way the guys approached the field.